All over the world, millions of species clash in nature's savage battle of survival. On land, in the sea, and in the air, all are locked in a deadly conflict. Animals fight tooth and claw to win food, territory, and rights to mate. From the Arctic Circle to the rivers of Africa that flow with blood, there are no rules. This is Animal Fight Night. On the African plains, a fight is never far away. And not just between hunters and the hunted. In the constant struggle for food, big cats clash. The cheetah hunts by day to avoid its mainly nocturnal rivals. The Savannah Speed King can go from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. Equal to a Kawasaki Ninja 1000. Making its favorite prey, like antelope, easy targets. This coalition of cheetahs often hunts together, but this noisy kill will attract attention. And they're not strong enough to defend their kill. So they eat quickly. They sense danger. Leopards are excellent hunters, but are just as happy to scavenge an easy meal. With his short, powerful legs and long, muscular body, he's much stronger than the cheetahs, and they knew it. But in the wild, hunter can become the hunted. The leopard works fast. He too senses trouble. Lions don't rely on their sense of smell to hunt. But the scent of a free meal is irresistible. The leopard must play his trump card. The perfectly designed muscle structure in his hind legs allows him to jump up to 10 feet vertically, even with 40 pounds of extra weight in his jaw. Just in time. But lions can climb too. The lioness is more than twice the size of the leopard. If she can reach him, she will own the kill. As the leopard climbs higher, the antelope's guts fall out, straight into the lion's mouth. But this lioness is too heavy to climb any higher. The antelope is almost half this leopard's own weight. But leopards are one of the most powerful big cats. They can carry prey twice as heavy as themselves. The leopard, exhausted, is safe for the moment. Now the male lions have gotten wind of dinner, and they've come to take the lion's share. This lion is 3 times heavier than the leopard. His incredibly powerful jaw and lethal front claws will not help him climb a tree, nor help him get down. The leopard stashes his meal and sits it out. The moment the lions are distracted, the leopard makes a break for it. Lions and leopards can reach up to 36 miles per hour. But he's got a head start. The leopard can return to his penthouse pantry when the coast is clear. In the Arctic Circle, life is tough, and the fight for life is always brutal. Polar bears are the largest living carnivores on land, and are most at home on the sea ice. Sniffing out their preferred prey, seal, from up to a half a mile away, then stalking and killing it. Here, a polar bear needs to be able to fight, to win a mate, or scavenge a kill. Off the ice, they have to attend the world's toughest fight school. For most animals, spring and summer are times of plenty. But for these polar bears, forced south by the ice melt, it means months of starvation. By fall, Rocky is hungry and tired. But if he's to survive the next winter, he needs to rebuild his strength. So he has to find a sparring partner. Apollo and Rocky size each other up. By holding his chin down and his front paws at his side, Rocky is initiating play. And the two start to test their strength. By sparring, they practice technique. With winter returning, these two will soon head back to the ice, where next spring they'll be fighting for mates. Now the bears up their game. Apollo's ears are flat to his head. It's an attacking posture. These 10 feet tall bears have a mass of strong neck muscles, which are used here for brute force. Apollo weighs almost 1,500 pounds. It's like being hit by 2 vending machines. The polar bear's jaw is designed to tear apart seal blubber. The gap between their long, sharp canines and their premolars allows them to bite deep. If Apollo can pierce Rocky's skin, he could damage muscles, and the fight would be over. But the bite doesn't draw blood. He forces Rocky onto the ropes. Rocky throws in the towel. Even if these bears never meet again, the skills they've learned here could save their lives. Some of nature's spectacular fights seem totally improbable. And then you can throw away the Animal Fight Night rulebook. In the Amazon basin of Peru, the black caiman is right at the top of the food chain, the largest of all the alligator species. They are masters of stealth. In this single lake, there are hundreds of these ambush hunters, some lurking at the water's edge, right where giant river otters build their dens. These family-oriented mammals may look cute, but they are red-blooded carnivores that catch and guzzle down up to 36 quarter-pounders worth of fish a day. From tip to tail, the largest are longer than the average American man is tall. Known as river wolves, mom, dad, kids, and babies all live, hunt, and travel together. But it's not for fun. It's for protection. A caiman recently killed 2 of this family's 5 pups. Now another blocks the entrance to their den. Resting or pup hunting. He's not welcome here. Working as a team, giant otters can kill and eat a small caiman. But this death machine is 16 feet long. Evicting his 800-pound bulk calls for different tactics. So the family begins by circling the armored beast. This will distract the caiman, so that Dad can sneak up and bite his tail. It's a risky maneuver. Dad has 38 sharp teeth and a vicious bite that can shatter bones. Enough to pierce the skin below the caiman's tail ridges. But this beast's not budging. The otters have just started a fight. But will they survive to finish it? A family of giant river otters fights a 16-foot-long black caiman who threatens their pups. And now, he strikes back. In the chaos of battle, one of the pups gets too close. The caiman flicks his massive neck at lightning speed, searching for otter flesh. With his explosive power, he can knock out any animal with the force of 17 bowling balls. And his wide-open jaw is a lethal trap. If he catches an otter, he will grip it, drown it, then swallow it whole. But caiman tire easily, so the otters need to wear him out. By mounting the caiman, this otter is out of the strike zone and able to bite. But the caiman's neck is covered with hard, bony scales that act like armor. So the others go for his soft underbelly, where their long canines puncture his skin. The fight goes on for nearly an hour. The caiman, over 10 times heavier than a single otter, runs out of energy first. His muscles fill with lactic acid, and he can't move. The otters overpower him, holding him down to finish him off. This caiman is no longer a threat. The otters have won. But there's a cost. 2 pups are missing. It's always good to win a battle. But sometimes being a skilled assassin is not enough to survive. The Black Mamba. Long, fast, and aggressive. With their lethal venom, they paralyze their prey, then eat it whole. With few predators, it's one of the world's deadliest snakes. The slender mongoose is one creature that's famously prepared to take on this slithering assassin. Weighing just over 1 pound, he looks outmatched. But don't be fooled. With lightning speed and razor-sharp teeth, snake dinners are a rare treat. This mongoose has cornered the mamba. The mamba's defense is to go high. Lifting a third of her body off the ground, spreading her neck flap and opening her mouth often scares off attackers. Not the mongoose. He toys with the snake, staying just out of reach. She's not falling for it yet. If she lands a bite, she'll inject a lethal shot of venom through her needle-sharp fangs. Usually, it's the kiss of death. The mongoose has some resistance. If bitten, the venom would weaken him, but probably not kill him. So the mongoose avoids the snake by changing direction mid-leap. He can spring over 3 feet vertically. Each lightning strike tires the snake. The mongoose needs to land 1 killer shot. A bite to the back of the mamba's head. The mamba is exhausted. She tries to get away. But with 1 bite, the mongoose wins. And now it's time for a well-earned lunch. In the wild, always watch your back. Sometimes a friend can be an enemy in disguise. On this savanna in eastern Africa, a herd of elegant Thompson's gazelles is grazing on the abundant grasses. One of the smallest gazelles in Africa, they are exceptionally fast runners. But that's not always enough. They are a favorite meal for hunters. Sharing the savanna with olive baboons gives the gazelles extra protection. Highly organized, the monkey guards sound the alarm at incoming predators. But it's not a foolproof neighborhood watch. These baboons are omnivores and opportunists, wolves in sheep's clothing. Today, this solitary baboon wants more than just shrubs for dinner. A highly intelligent and crafty primate, he plays a casual stealth game. He's not as fast as the gazelle, so he needs to get as close as possible. The fawn seems oblivious to the danger. As the baboon zeroes in, the fawn instinctively senses trouble. The fawn is fast, but the baboon is hungry. A hungry olive baboon chases a gazelle fawn. The mother sees the danger. Too late. Now she must fight for her young, and a protective mother will do anything. Her pencil-thin sharp horns make a powerful double weapon. The baboon's hands are like humans, so he has a strong grip on the young gazelle. If Mom can pierce his skin, he may drop the fawn. Success. But the infant is too dazed to move. And Mom can't keep the baboon away. Thompson's gazelles make up over 30% of an olive baboon's diet. A high price to pay for a baboon warning system. For some animals, built-in armor is as important as a killer weapon. The African ostrich. Not as stylish as Usain Bolt, but definitely faster. The fastest two-legged animal in the world. And it's the power in these legs that's a killer. When it comes to family, there's a clear pecking order. The big chief rooster watches over one of his chosen hens. She's out of bounds to other boys. But this young cock hasn't got the memo. He struts his stuff. The rooster notices. It's game on. Holding his head high and shaking his wings, the rooster tries to intimidate. But young cock pushes back and gets a kick in the chest. Hidden high up the leg is the ostrich's knee. The complex muscle system attached to it is the power behind their forward kick. It's a kick that could disembowel a human. And there's more. On the end of his two-toed foot is a 4-inch talon that can pierce the skin and hit vital organs. But when it's ostrich on ostrich, they have a built-in protector. An extra thick breastplate, shielding the heart and lungs. If they want to do damage, they have to attack under the belly. The young cock tries, but success comes down to stamina. The old rooster is stronger, forcing the youngster to retreat. He'll have to get in some practice if he wants to try again. Muscles, teeth, and claws are a powerful arsenal, but not enough if your opponent is a shapeshifter. The lioness, an undisputed killer queen. The superior hunter in the pride. It's her job to train the young to kill. But some creatures don't play by the rules. Like the honey badger. Small, stocky, and some say the meanest animal in the world. With a ferocious bite, they'll take on anything that moves. Honey badgers will call anywhere home. These guys are on the search for tonight's bunk hole. But there's a doorman. The young lion homes in on a honey badger. He and his siblings can try out their hunting skills, as the adults keep a watchful eye. The youngsters follow the killing rules. Step 1. Hit your prey off balance with your powerful paw. Step 2. Bite the neck or throat and kill it. But the prey isn't supposed to bite back. The second lion tries to sever the badger's spinal cord. He can't get a grip, and the badger gets another bite in. Now, 3 young lions battle the badger. Mom's not happy with the youngster's techniques. This daredevil takes the chance to launch an attack, biting the lion on his leg, but he may have bitten off more than he can chew. A pride of young lions is trying to kill a honey badger. He's not coming quietly, and he's seriously outnumbered. He's inside the lion's jaw, which is designed for gripping prey. But the honey badger has a secret weapon. His built-in onesie. His tough skin, impervious even to a machete's blade, is only loosely attached. As the lion tries to hold him, the badger rotates 180 degrees and launches his own attack. He gets his sharp teeth into the young lion's nose. The more lions there are, the more fired up the badger gets. The lions get the message. They'll have to retake Honey Badger 101. When your bloodline is the prize, you have to commit, which can mean losing it all. Everything about the muskox is hardcore. It has lived in one of the Earth's most brutal landscapes since the times of the woolly mammoth. But temperatures here can plummet to -50. Their insulating undercoat and foot-long overcoat keep them warm. These 800-pound woolly beasts only stand as high as an Ewok, but they are as long as Chewbacca is tall. Come springtime, life doesn't get any easier for these diehards. When the ice melt kicks in, thousands of oxen make the journey downhill to the grassy plains, where they fill their bellies and shed their coats. And then the guys start fighting over the girls. Last year, this dominant male fought many battles to defend his right to this harem of females. Now, an imposing stranger has tracked them down and wants what this old bull has got. Fights between musk oxen are brutal. They may have to go the whole way. By flaunting their flanks and pawing the ground, these two demonstrate their size and power. The old bull hopes to scare off the rival. But this young challenger wants to fight. Let the battle begin. Charging at speeds of up to 25 miles an hour. Their heads are designed to sustain the impact of these collisions. But they still take their toll. After several clashes, both bulls are reeling. Punch drunk, the young challenger turns sideways. By charging now, the old bull can use his sharp hooked horn to pierce the skin and muscle of the young challenger. An injury that would mean fight over. Just in time, the young challenger squares up. But with one knock too many, he finally concedes defeat. The old bull keeps his head and his herd for now. On the horizon, another battle awaits. When one of the strongest creatures on Earth does battle, the fight is not for the faint-hearted. Deep in the forests of northern Japan lives one of the strongest creatures on the face of the Earth. Born for battle, the Japanese rhinoceros beetle is like a heavily armored ancient war machine. He carries his weaponry out front, a short, forked horn on his upper body, and a long, double-pronged antler-like horn on top of his head. The rhinoceros beetle may be the size of a credit card, but with this armory, he can lift almost 850 times his own weight, like a human carrying 9 fully grown elephants. He uses his super strength to clear any bug that gets in his way. Once they hatch, these beetles live for about 4 months. So each warrior comes with a mission. Eat, breed, repeat, and die. By climbing a tree, Knocking everything out of the way, this beetle finds food. Tree sap is sweet and full of energy. The nectar attracts the girls. And with 1 in 4 types of described life forms being a beetle, the inevitable, more beetles. Smaller beetles aren't a problem for the Defender. But another warrior with the same mission is. The Defender and the Challenger size each other up by shoving horns. If one is smaller, it's a no fight, and he'll be chased off. But these two are equals, so the fight begins. The Defender gets his long antler under the Challenger to lift him off the branch. But the Challenger sidesteps and tries to turn the tables. He's not quick enough. And now they've both got their antlers under. Using the claws on his lower legs, the Defender has a firm hold. The Challenger weakens. It's all over. Now it's back to square one for him. But time is already running out. For some animals, the fight for mating rights can be a battle to the death. The kingfisher, an expert dive bomber, and lethal fish-killing machine. And when the fight is bird on bird, it can also be to the death. Pairing up in spring, kingfisher males use fresh sushi to attract their girl. When she finally accepts, their marriage is sealed. And the nest building begins. But as this happy couple fixes up the nursery, an unwelcome visitor shows up. A desperate female, a homewrecker who wants this territory and its resident male. With finely honed aerial combat skills, the new bride chases her rival off. But the homewrecker is headstrong, returning to battle it out. These featherweight fighters may weigh the equivalent of just 34 paperclips. But with their flying skills and sharp, strong beaks, they are highly evolved killing machines. After full-on beak-to-beak warfare, something totally unexpected will happen. Two female kingfishers fight to the death over territory and its resident guy. The new bride is trying to drown a rival homewrecker by forcing her underwater. But the homewrecker employs her jump jet technology and manages to break free, but only to catch her breath. Then it's back for the final round. The pocket-sized homewrecker gets the upper hand. She's trapped the new bride's beak in hers and uses all her strength to hold it shut and drown her. Now the new bride fights for her life. And it looks bad. She's exhausted. Her wings waterlogged, heavy and useless. The homewrecker has her by the neck. An American mink. It's a voracious predator that loves the thrill of the kill, executing with a single bite to the neck. The homewrecker didn't stand a chance. The new bride dived to safety. She's lived and keeps her territory and her man for now. It's never easy being the boss. You're only ever as good as your last fight. In the Galapagos Islands, marine iguanas live on a knife edge. The only lizards in the world that have adapted to feed in cold seawater. They have no inbuilt temperature control. Cold water saps their energy. Hours in the hot sun restores them. They may look content, but they are now vulnerable. Seahawks prey upon the juveniles. This hefty Don is too big for the hawk, but fears rival males. He's just eaten in the cold waters, so his energy is low. It's a bad moment for a challenger to come calling. He ate early, and he's feeling strong. When the Don sees the loner, he tries to bluff his way out of trouble with a display of power head nodding. But these two are matched in size. They will have to go all the way. By pushing heads. Their curved claws give them traction on the rocks as they push forward. These beasts have a primeval will to fight, but they don't have the stamina. The Don digs deep. The lustful loner has only enough energy to retreat. He'll have to get up even earlier next time. All over the world, millions of species clash in nature's savage battle of survival. On land, in the water, and in the air, all are locked in deadly conflict. Animals fight tooth and claw to win food, territory, and rights to the bloodline. From the Namibian desert to the Amazon rainforest, there are no rules. This is Animal Fight Night. A lioness and a female Cape buffalo are engaged in full-on war. The lone lioness has her sights set on the buffalo's 3-month-old calf. But at 5 feet tall and weighing 1,000 pounds, this buffalo mother is an unstoppable force. Every time the lioness gets near to the helpless calf, the mother steps in and shuts down the attack. The lioness must be careful. An injured hunter is as good as dead. She can't get too close to the buffalo's 20-inch horns. She has to decide whether pursuing the kill is worth the risk. This hunt could end in dinner or disaster. Just before the lioness can make a choice, the bulldozing buffalo makes it for her. The calf looks safe, but it's not over. Lions are highly intelligent, and they're also masters of deception. They can vanish behind tall grass in a split second. It's how they stalk prey. As the buffalo mom chases the lioness off, she loses sight of her. The lioness vanishes. The calf is now alone and exposed. Suddenly, the predator emerges from her hiding place and attacks. It looks like game over for the calf. But the buffalo mother returns in the nick of time. She slams into the lion and fights off repeated attacks. But just when it looks like the cat has given up, the situation gets drastically worse for the buffalo. The action has attracted the attention of not one, but 2 more pride lionesses. The desperate mother fights on, but is fooled into a second trap. One of the lionesses lures her into a chase, and then a second corners her. She's caught between 2 full-grown killer cats, and knows that just yards away, the third already has her calf. Family is a lion's major strength. Today, it's the buffalo's weakness. It's all over for the baby and her courageous mother. Animals that live in groups have a natural advantage. They can rely on each other for food, warmth, and protection. But in some species, a pack can become a prison. Hyenas are one of the most numerous and aggressive large predators in Africa. And once they spot a potential target, almost nothing can stand in their way. Their hearts are massive, on average 20% bigger than a man's, meaning they have the endurance to chase prey over huge distances. And when meat is on the menu, table manners go out the window. A feeding frenzy ensues. But these chaotic scenes disguise a hierarchy. At the head of any hyena family is a hard-nosed leader. And unusually for the animal kingdom, it's nearly always a female. They grow to be bigger and stronger than males. More than 2.5 feet tall and 130 pounds. They must keep the clan safe. On the African plains, danger is never far away. Lions are the hyena's sworn enemy. They steal their meat and sometimes even kill clanmates. The only way hyenas can survive is with a strong leader. But over the years, this queen has turned into a tyrant. Two lower-ranking females kill an impala. Yet the queen hijacks the carcass, leaving them hungry. She bullies the weakest clan members, including mothers raising cubs. The queen is out of control, and the clan is at snapping point. Surviving here is perilous enough without threat from within. The tyrant must go. She's set upon. In a one-on-one fight, the hyena queen would easily overpower any of her followers. However, she's up against not just one, but all of them. They surround her, just like they would surround larger prey during a hunt. Each hyena has a bite force of more than 1,000 pounds, enough to crack a giraffe's thigh bone. And they attack as one. The hyenas could easily kill her and are known cannibals. But they stop short. It's already over for this tyrant. She's defeated. Her hind leg is ruined. The hyenas choose the clan over their leader, leaving her defenseless and surrounded by enemies. Living in a pack does not guarantee that an animal is safe. But for animals that work alone, every single second of the day is fraught with perils. When a hungry cheetah locks onto a Thompson's gazelle, all the prey animal can do is run for its life. And when there's no other escape option, sometimes they're forced to make a desperate move. A river offers safety from the deadly hunter, but it can be out of the frying pan and into the fire. African rivers are infested with Nile crocodiles. The prey is consumed. The crocs look to have bagged another antelope escaping from a cheetah. But in fact, it's an animal fight like no other. This time, it's the cheetah that's under attack. It chased the antelope all the way into the deadly water. The prey is already being torn apart, and the big cat is next. A crocodile has him by the tail, and he's fighting for his life. A cheetah struggles to escape the jaws of death. A crocodile has it by the tail and is trying to drag it into the murky water. Only seconds ago, the king of speed was living the life of a big game hunter. But he chased an antelope all the way into croc-infested water. Now he's under attack. The antelope doesn't stand a chance. But the big cat is putting up more of a fight. He aims a bite at the crocodile's head, but he's way out of his depth. The cat makes a break for it, It can't let the crocodile get a good grip. Once those giant jaws close, it's almost impossible to pry them open. The cheetah makes it to the bank. It's a grotesque tug of war. And for the cheetah, failure means death. Exhausted from his hunt and savaged by the crocodile, the cheetah stops struggling. But the croc momentarily opens its jaws to get a better grip. It's all the cheetah needs to break free. He scrambles up the bank to safety. But it could have ended in disaster. No animal can go without food. But often, it's the simple search for the fuel of life that can bring a creature right up to the jaws of death. Namibia is a hotbed of predators. So for many egg-bearing mothers-to-be, the safest place to lay is in underground burrows, tucked away from hungry mouths. But there's an armed robber here that can find even the most carefully hidden nests. The monitor lizard. 6 feet long, 25 pounds, and armed with deadly sharp claws. This monitor is a safecracker. And today, he's struck gold. The monitor dives in. Bingo! A reptile's egg is a high-calorie snack. When it's gone, he moves on to find the next burrow. But unfortunately for the safecracker, there's a bounty hunter on patrol. It's a honey badger. And he's in the mood for cracking skulls. The armed robber hisses a warning. His claws are as fit for fighting as they are for raiding burrows. But the bounty hunter isn't intimidated. He's armed and ready to use deadly force. The honey badger's skull is massive, and it features a wide, short muzzle. It has 4 upper and lower cheek teeth on each side, and thick, sharp canines at the front, designed for clamping down on enemies rather than shearing flesh. The jaw muscles of the badger are so overdeveloped that when it bites onto something, it's almost impossible to force open. The honey badger is built to bite. They keep side on to each other and avoid leaving their heads open to attack. If the honey badger can use his jaws, or the monitor can use his claws, it would be game over. The safe breaker snaps at the badger. And he falls back into the burrow. It's the monitor's chance to make a clean getaway. But the bounty hunter is tenacious. He grabs the monitor's tail and drags him back to the scene of the crime. In the narrow hole, the monitor has nowhere to run. And the honey badger overpowers him, locking his jaws onto the doomed lizard's face. The honey badger bounty hunter has caught the culprit and gives the armed robber the heaviest sentence there is. In the wild, the struggle to find food is a never-ending task. But sometimes, the most dangerous challenge of all is to guarantee the bloodline. Black rhino females are incredibly protective mothers. They give birth to a single calf at a time, and they will stay together for up to 4 years. But she will be ready to mate during that time. Rhinos have an incredible sense of smell, and a passing male picks up the female's scent. Trouble is, this rhino mom is not in the mood. All her attention is on her offspring. But he isn't getting the message. He's not the smartest beast on the plains. For such large animals, black rhinos have surprisingly small brains, weighing only 15 to 20 ounces. Half that of an adult human. But that doesn't mean he should be underestimated. At 3,000 pounds, he's 16 times heavier than the average man. If he wanted to, he could seriously injure the female and kill the calf. The mother's refusal is only frustrating the big male. He's willing to use force. A male black rhino wants to mate with a female, but she's only interested in protecting her calf. Even though she weighs as much as a powerboat, he drives her backwards through the dirt. Kicking up huge clouds of dust. Now, engulfed in the haze, her calf is in extreme danger. Rhino eyesight is poor. In clear conditions, they can only see up to 100 feet away. In the thick dust, the male could easily trample the calf. The mother spins around to run away, but the big male won't stop. In his frenzy, he uses his deadly tipped 2-foot-long horn and lifts her back end clear off the ground. She may have inch-thick hide, but he could still puncture her side. If she's injured, her baby's life could be at risk. The cloud begins to clear. And the baby is unharmed. The big bull realizes that even though he can push this mother around, she's no pushover. His only choice is to find a more willing mating partner. Rhinos rely on muscle power far more than brain power to get what they want. But it's often the most intelligent animal species that are the most violent. Southern Ethiopia. This is a harsh land where food and water can be scarce. But one particular primate species flourishes here. Hamadryas baboons. These highly intelligent creatures live in huge social groups of up to 750. They spend the long, cold nights nesting together in cliffs, safe from their deadly enemies, hyenas and leopards. There's no one leader. Instead, smaller harems within the group are watched over by dominant males. This one rules with an iron fist. He's a battle-scarred warlord. 4.5 feet long from nose to tail, powerfully built and armed with razor-sharp teeth. When morning comes, he leads his followers down to the plains to find food. He keeps a close watch, punishing any troublemakers in his group. But when they finally make it to the feeding grounds, he faces a much bigger problem. A rival troop from further along the cliff. The warlord has fought their leader before. As well as being tough survivors, baboons have good memories. They remember past battles. And they learn from experience. The two armies clash. Enemy males go on the attack. But the rival leader has another aim: to steal a female. The one he wants resists. So the raider bites her with his brutal 1.5-inch canines. Injuries like this can be life-threatening. The female escapes with her life, but the violence for her is not done. Despite her loyalty, the warlord attacks her again as a stark message to his harem. Betray me, and there will be consequences. If he is to maintain control and keep his bloodline strong, he can never show weakness. The sheer diversity of the animal kingdom leads to bizarre clashes in the never-ending battle of survival. But every now and then, two animals so unusual come together that it proves fact can be stranger than fiction. Woodpeckers peck for two main reasons: to find insects living in tiny cracks in the bark, and to excavate nesting holes in the trunk. This head-banging bird seems to be putting the last few touches to his home. But this nest is under attack. It's a yellow-bellied puffing snake. And this brightly colored serpent is after the nest's precious residents, chicks. The woodpecker's offspring are in extreme danger. Compared to the diminutive bird, the snake is a monster, up to 9 feet long. It puffs its neck out in a stark warning. It's not venomous, but could suffocate the bird by catching and coiling itself around it. It lunges time and time again at the anxious father. But the woodpecker is not giving up. He's going to do what he does best. Very few animals could dish out this sort of cranial punishment. But these incredible birds are built to last. Inside the head is a flexible bone called the hyoid, which passes up from its nostrils around the back of its skull before connecting to the tongue. When pecking, the longer upper half of the beak absorbs most of the impact, diverting shock waves along the hyoid into the surrounding muscles and tongue. This keeps the brain protected from impact deceleration, more than 1,000 times stronger than gravity. The woodpecker is relentless, and it won't take him long to shred the serpent's flesh. A yellow-bellied puffing snake attacks a woodpecker's nest. But the head-banging woodpecker is on the offensive, using his shock-absorbing skull to deliver multiple stabs to the snake's side. The serpent strikes back and comes away with a mouthful of feathers. But the determined father still won't leave the chicks. His bravery is putting his own life on the line. The snake grabs him by the throat. He must escape or die. The woodpecker forces its way free. But the serpent has won. And with the woodpecker father defeated, it goes back to the nest to devour the unguarded chicks. Some creatures try to live their lives under the radar, unseen and unheard. But when the survival of an animal's offspring are at stake, it can turn a cunning creature into a ferocious fighter. The English countryside is harboring a calculating killer. A red fox. This male is on the prowl for meat. As a distant relative to wolves, he has an excellent sense of smell and can hear a watch ticking from 40 yards away. He's identified a potential meal. A male and female raising a pair of pups. On rare occasions, foxes can be cannibals. If he gets near, he could kill and eat them, and then try to mate with the female. But the father fox is ready to defend them. A fox will give off warnings in the run-up to a fight. DEFCON 3. The father fox stands tall and arches his back to make himself big and intimidating. But the killer isn't scared easily. DEFCON 2. Dad hunkers down and barks aggressively. Unlike other canids, foxes do not have the facial muscles to bare their teeth. So he opens his jaw fully to flash his inch-long canines. But it's no use. The attacker has a thirst for blood. DEFCON 1. Fearing for his cubs, Dad attacks. The rivals line up shoulder to shoulder and drive against each other in a test of strength. The cubs watch on anxiously. If their father can't win the fight, their lives are at risk. The males are equals in power, so they resort to teeth. Lunging at each other's throats. They shake their heads violently to tear skin and rip flesh. The vixen is about 20% smaller than the males. Even so, she stays close to the fight. Spurred on by her presence, the father fox finds a burst of speed and power and drives the killer away from the cubs. Delivering wounding bites to his back legs. killer is beaten and limps away, the fox family can return to the safety of the den. In the wild, fighting is often a last resort. The risks of injury or death are just too great. But there are some species that, when threatened, will only ever attack. Carpenter ant colonies are like empires. They have a particular goal: to expand. But with each new batch of soldiers born, the resource demands of the empire increases. They need more food and more territory. But they must also be ready to defend their own. A team of rival carpenter ant scouts has entered an empire's territory. Their intrusion will not be tolerated. And when ants engage in battle, it's to the death. The empire strikes back. These ants may be less than half an inch long, but they are unbelievably strong. Ant muscles are exceptionally powerful in proportion to their tiny size. A bigger ant would change things. Muscle strength increases, but to a smaller degree than overall weight. The ant's muscles would begin to struggle. Make it human size, and the ant would be instantly crushed under the burden of its own massive body. Being small means it can carry itself and objects many times its own weight, including enemies. The rival scouts are heavily outnumbered by the Empire's soldiers. But in the swarm, it becomes increasingly difficult to distinguish friend from foe. If even one enemy soldier is not quickly destroyed, they could signal for their entire army of thousands. A team of rival carpenter ant scouts has entered an empire's territory. If the home soldiers cannot identify and destroy them, the colony is at risk of a total enemy invasion. Luckily for the Empire, ants have a hidden super sense. Their probing antennae are covered in hair-like protrusions called sensilia. They pick up the enemy's pheromones, biological scents, and pass them down a nerve fiber to the brain. Ants have up to 5 times more odor receptors than most other insects. So they're able to pick up the tiniest changes in smell. And each enemy army has their own scent, meaning a rival soldier stands out in even the densest crowd. The raiders are identified and locked down. More and more Empire soldiers appear, swarming them. Strangely, some of the ants display a stinging action, even though they have no stinger. New research suggests that ants are descended from wasps, so at one point would have been similarly armed. The action could be instinctive. Finally, the Empire starts a cleanup operation. Using immensely powerful pincers, like a firefighter's cutters, they slowly tear the invading scouts apart. The true resilience of the raiding ants is gruesomely demonstrated. Even those that are cut in two continue to struggle till the very last drop of their energy is gone. The Empire is triumphant, but only until the next attack. Many insect groups use a vast number of soldiers to overpower and overwhelm their enemies. but in species where each family member is as important as the next, a subtle strategy can be as effective as all-out war. The darkest corners of Northern Europe have been the inspiration behind countless fairy tales. And it's for good reason. Fearsome beasts roam here. The Eurasian wolf is an expert hunter. At 120 pounds and standing 2.5 feet high, they are streamlined killing machines. And by working as a pack, they can hunt and overwhelm prey. They need plenty of meat. A single wolf can consume up to 20 pounds in one sitting. But sometimes, food can be scarce. To survive, they must scavenge. Easier said than done. Often it means stealing from another predator. And the wolves are not the biggest beasts in these woods. The only predators who have any meat are a family of Eurasian brown bears. The adult male is massive, 700 pounds, with claws that can grow up to 4 inches long. He's powerful enough to crush a wolf under his bulk. They're picking over the last remnants of a kill. But to a hungry wolf, even a shredded carcass is a banquet. Trying to steal it would be a huge gamble, but the leader of the pack knows that without food, his family is doomed. A scavenging pack of Eurasian wolves are playing with fire. They've found a family of bears who have meat, and the wolf leader is willing to risk his life and his pack to steal it. The wolves test the male bear. Perhaps he'll abandon his share of the meat. No such luck. He's not intimidated. The wolves know if they get too close, they're as good as dead. Brown bears are immensely strong and have jaws that could crush a bowling ball. The only way to steal his food is with numbers. 3 wolves against the 2 adult bears. One of the wolves makes a darting run at the carcass. But is knocked away. In a straight line dash, bears can nearly match them for speed. But in close quarters, the agile wolves just have the edge. They all join in, trying to draw the bears away from the food. The big male comes within biting distance of a thief, and only just misses. But in his eagerness to see them off, he leaves his food unguarded for a split second. It's the gap the wolves are looking for. They steal one meal. And then the second. The scavenging wolf strategy has beaten the bears. All around the world, animals have adapted to compete for survival in their own environments. But there are some species out there so tough that they're ready and willing to pick a fight anywhere. The American mink has a soft coat. Their reputation for naked aggression is second to none. Once they have a target in their sights, they can be relentless killers. And they're all-terrain assassins. Equally dangerous on land and in the water. As this unsuspecting herring gull is about to find out. Mink can swim for up to 100 feet fully submerged. And a sneak torpedo attack gets him onto the gull's back. Up here, he's safe from the bird's vicious 2.5-inch beak. And the mink delivers a bite, aiming to damage vital nerves. The bird gets a chance to escape. But the bite has disabled him. He can't get airborne. The torpedo won't give in. So the seagull goes on the offensive. He opens his beak wide to clamp it around his opponent. But the expert diver hangs on. The gull is at risk of drowning. He changes tactic and uses his beak as a dagger. But the torpedo keeps coming. The bird's stabs can't find their target. His energy reserves are near zero. The merciless torpedo circles, looking to finish the fight. But the desperate seagull finishes it first. A direct hit to the mink's eye. It disarms the killer torpedo and sends him back to dry land. The bird wins, but now flightless, he's less seagull and more sitting duck for the next mink attack. All over the world, species clash in nature's savage battle of survival. On the plains, in the forests, over mountains, and on water. All are locked in deadly conflict. Animals fight tooth and claw to win food, territory, and rights to the bloodline. From battling bruisers to skillful assassins, there are no rules. This is Animal Fight Night. In the Arctic winter, one animal seems invincible. The polar bear is the largest land predator on the planet. He can run at 25 miles per hour and swim up to 400 miles in search of food. And the ice floes provide a well-stocked kitchen. But in the summer, as the ice retreats, so does his prey. Polar bears face the threat of starvation. This hunter may not have eaten for months. He's in a desperate struggle for survival. But his powerful sense of smell can pick up odors from 20 miles away. And a familiar stench is in the air. Walrus. These titans of the sea ice are huge. They can be the length of a panel van. A layer of blubber up to 10 inches thick keeps them insulated. It sits below tough hide. They live in colonies up to thousands strong, swollen in summer by the arrival of new pups. Their smell is catnip to the starving polar bear. An excellent swimmer, he takes the direct route to sneak up on the banquet. The hunter keeps a low profile on the surface and is invisible beneath it. He can dive for up to 3 minutes. A walrus's eyesight is poor. But once on the island, the hunter's snow-white coat stands out. The colony forms a wall of blubbery backsides. And walruses can take care of themselves. With ivory tusks up to 3 feet long, they can kill and eat seals over 400 pounds. The hunter selects a victim at the edge. But large tusks make him a poor choice. A smaller walrus seems easier, but it's got backup. Then the hungry hunter spots a more tender target, a pup. Its heavyweight mom uses her 1,600-pound body as a barrier, and she takes the full impact of his bite. Unlike most bears, polar bears only eat meat. Their chewing carnassials are smaller than a grizzly's, but their meat-piercing canines are just as large. They easily tear through seal flesh to get to the calorie-rich layer of blubber beneath. But even canines unleashing 370 pounds of force can't prize this mom away. And she fires in an ivory stab. The attack is enough to spread panic, and the colony breaks ranks. This is his chance to pick off stragglers heading for the water. The desperate hunter has one last shot at survival. The bear's 2-inch canines dig deep. It's a battle of raw power. The walrus has weight advantage. He inches into the waves and safety. The fight for food comes at a heavy price. Stab wounds leave the wanderer lame. But today, this bear won't go hungry. A walrus pup died, crushed in the frenzied stampede for safety. The crippled predator settles for scavenged scraps. And deep tusk wounds mean this could be his last supper. Solitary hunters may be savage, but killer packs can be even more deadly. In the African wilds, the hyena is one of the most feared predators. They typically hunt in groups of up to 5 individuals. A hyena eats around 19 pounds of meat a day. But not every hyena gets a fair share. Females dominate hyena society. They're around 20% bigger than males, which puts the boys at the back of the line. They may eat only half the daily average. This hungry male hyena goes it alone in search of a square meal. But hunting solo isn't easy. So he follows his nose. Smell is his primary sense, vital for survival. He can detect carrion from 2 miles away. This time he picks up a fresh kill nearby. Trouble is, it's taken by wild dogs. They're also team players. Because of their coloring, they're known as painted wolves. An alpha breeding pair heads a pack of fearsome killers. Their large ears swivel like radar dishes to pick up the sound of game. And the pack's kill rate is more than twice as high as a lion pride's. Wild dogs will never scavenge. They like their food very fresh. They disembowel and eat prey while it's still alive. They're not about to give up a precious kill. The hyena's alone, but strong at around twice the bulk of his opponents, with a famously powerful bite. He gets an early warning. Then a yelp signals action stations. The pack stands together. And the alpha male steps up to the plate. A direct hit on the nose. The hyena's primary survival sense is at risk. The alpha's grip is deep. He's armed with 42 teeth. Behind piercing canines are bone-crunching carnassials. They're proportionately larger than any other dog species. And his skull has a broad zygomatic arch, like a wolf's, attached to large jaw muscles. It gives him a bite that's pound for pound even stronger than a hyena's. The alpha holds firm. He anchors the hyena for his pack to attack. The hyena exposes 34 ferocious teeth, but can't use them. He draws on raw power. He escapes with his life, but a damaged nose severely limits his life choices. Most apex predators are big cats or bears. But not here. Deep in the forests of an Indonesian island, something stirs. This is a land of dragons. The Komodo dragon is the largest lizard on the planet. He measures up to 10 feet long and can weigh over 350 pounds. Each limb is armed with 5 claws up to 3 inches long, helping him take down prey as big as a buffalo. With a hunting kill rate of up to 90%, they're one of the planet's most successful predators. These dragons don't breathe fire. They ooze drool. And they're also venomous. Their venom is a chemical cocktail of around 30 toxins. It means if a dragon's dinner escapes, it's likely to die from shock, blood loss, and wound infection. But this dragon isn't wandering in search of food. It's May, the very start of the mating season. And his tongue searches for the trace of a fertile female. Unlike most lizards, Komodo dragons have a forked tongue, like a snake's. It's equipped with reptilian taste buds. The flicking tongue works with a Jacobson's organ on the roof of the mouth to interpret chemical traces in the air. The side of the tongue that picks up the strongest trace helps pinpoint the source, so the Komodo can home in on his target. But a different scent makes this dragon's cold blood boil. An unknown male, also out to secure his bloodline. The stage is set for the Duel of the Dragons. Two deadly predators face off. It looks like a scene from the Age of Dinosaurs. They duke it out upright. Their tails form a tripod for balance. In full attack mode, the stranger oozes drool. A Komodo's teeth can shear a rival dragon's leathery skin. And the stranger gets a shot at his rival's throat. A Komodo dragon's jaw holds 60 sharp and serrated flesh-tearing teeth. Keratin scales on the throat are thinner than on the tail and back. And blood vessels leading to the dragon's heart lay just below the surface. The throat must be protected at all costs. The stranger follows up with a smackdown. Then blocks like a halfback to deliver a 350-pound pile driver. The local needs to find an answer. So he brings his 3-inch-long claws into play. With a slashing blow just beneath the heart. Its ferocity knocks the fight out of his opponent. Lying throat down signals total surrender. Dragons battle for breeding rights, but some predators are prepared to kill over border disputes. In the forests of India, one cool and calculating killer reigns supreme. The Bengal tiger. Adult tigers are solitary and fiercely territorial. They need to eat at least 15 pounds of meat a day to stay healthy. ruthlessly guard their hunting ground. They mark territorial boundaries by scent and by scratching trees. The scratching also sharpens their claws. 4-inch blades that can penetrate solid bone. They use them to bring down prey and dish out retribution. Because the penalty for tiger trespass may be death. This adult female is a homeless wanderer. She survives as a sneak thief, taking food from other tiger territories. Stealth is key, both to take down prey and avoid discovery. She spots an opportunity. 2 tiger takeout specials are on offer. Cheadle deer and langur monkey. She silently creeps into range. Her paws are crucial tools for a successful kill. Their pads are highly sensitive. A layer of fat insulates them, but can cut and blister easily. Claws are naturally retracted while walking. Flexor tendons extend them when they're ready for a kill. She's primed. But before she pulls the trigger, something spooks her prey. This game belongs to a large Bengal male. Her worst nightmare. A 450-pound heavyweight. His huge jaw comes equipped with 3-inch canines. And he sees the trespasser. Too late to turn and run. The landowner's bigger and faster. She has to try to face him down. Showtime! A hungry tigress takes a life and death chance. She hunts on a male tiger's territory. Not a smart move. It's slashing claw-to-claw combat. Before he slams her down. Belly up, she's vulnerable. She fires out a combo. But it's an empty gesture. The landowner smacks her jaw. Both cats know she's beaten. His careless swagger dismisses her. She's lucky to be alive. A deep slash to her paw will make hunting even harder on some other tiger's territory. High above the forests of Asia, in the mountains of northern Pakistan, one animal plays out a deadly drama of sex and survival. The markhor is a menacing member of the goat family. They combine goat-like aggression with antelope agility. They're expert mountaineers, equipped to climb sheer cliffs. Their hooves split into 2 toes. Sharp toenails of tough keratin covers the outer edges. They act like crampons to lodge in narrow cracks and shallow ridges. And softer inner pads have a textured surface like climbing shoes for traction. The toes can move independently, giving a precise feel for the terrain. Sure-footed females and young climb trees to eat tender leaves. But if a tree won't support a heavyweight male, they take a different approach. They have some of the longest horns of all goats, rising up to 5 feet. They use them for dislodging foliage and nuts. But in the mating season, they're deadly weapons in a battle royale. A combat veteran, he thinks he's got what it takes to be the last goat standing. Winner takes all of the local females. But a mistimed blow could be deadly. Markhor horns are dead keratin tissue surrounding a spiral core of living bone with a hollow center. The impact of extreme collisions can create a clean break. A serious fracture can expose blood vessels and nerve tissue and lead to infection. The brutal veteran powers through the field. The bachelors back off one by one. But one challenger won't be intimidated. The veteran looks down on him. It's the final showdown. Horns smash with a force of around a ton. And on higher ground, the veteran is gravity assisted. There's nearly 25% more force in his blow. Even the challenger's adapted hooves can't hold fast against the onslaught. But this Markhor has a do-or-die plan. A veteran Markhor is battling a challenger off the face of the mountain. But this opponent is different to the rest. His nimble feet track their way up a tree trunk. It's a solid backstop. The battering Markhor veteran hits a brick wall. And his challenger grabs the high ground to give his opponent the drop. Big time. Victory ensures access to the females. But the veteran pays a heavy price for pride before his fall. Horns can deliver a crushing victory, but little can withstand the power of an American giant's paw. Alaska has more than 90% of America's grizzly bears. And male grizzlies are Fight Night champion class. They can run faster than a horse, would qualify for an Olympic swim team, and could kill a cow with one blow. Two young, inexperienced males look to test their fighting skills. The golden-coated grizzly on the left seeks a sparring partner. A darker-coated incomer is eager to take up the challenge. They're learning the ropes, and anything could happen. The incomer fires first. But Goldie cuts inside to turn his opponent. And mounts an 800-pound charge. To take him down. He can bite through cast iron. But loose skin on the neck means he can't find purchase. He goes for raw power. Front paws deliver a shuddering blow to the chest. The incomer rallies. 4-inch claws grab his opponent's hips for a shoulder barge. He drives Goldie onto defense. Until a crushing bear hug brings the incomer to his knees. Mustering the strength of 5 men, he rises. But the effort takes its toll. One last push to the riverbank wins Goldie higher ground. The exhausted incomer receives a Fight Night masterclass. Valuable experience against his next opponent. Horns, claws, and paws can be deadly, but in some contenders, tusks are key to carving out a win. In the African bush, it doesn't pay to taste of pork. Warthogs are African wild pigs. Plump, juicy packets of wandering bacon. They're an ideal snack for both lions and leopards. Only 50% of warthog piglets make it to maturity. This survivor isn't thinking about predators. It's the mating season. His mind's on making bacon. And a local sow is strutting her stuff. Like the males, she has large cartilage-filled warts on her face, and habits that include eating dung and wallowing in mud. But to him, she's the beauty queen of the bush. This male thinks he's boss hog and wants her for himself. But a local love rival has other ideas. And they're both armed and dangerous. 2 sets of tusks jut from the lower jaw. The rear set can reach over 2 feet long. They're deadly weapons in ferocious hog-on-hog duels. It's gonna get ugly. Two heavily armed hogs are ready to fight over their wart-faced beauty queen. Like boxers, they clinch and search for an opening. The love rival already claims first blood. The boss hog's on his knees. It suggests his rival is on top. But it's the perfect position for a piercing uppercut. 220-pound thrusts send the love rival clear off his feet. But he's agile and twists to lock on again. And now Boss Hogg's badly cut. It's a stalemate. Their warts can act like fenders to deflect blows. The Boss Hogg needs a change of tactics. He can use weight advantage to barge and turn his rival. He fires, but it's an air shot. Now he's downhill and wide open. The love rival replies with rapid-fire jabs and gouges deep. The blood on the blades tells the story. Boss Hogg's met his match. And the love rival wins a date with this year's Warthog top model. On the open African plain, a vast herd of wildebeest is a mobile pantry for the continent's larger predators. But at up to 600 pounds, and equipped with 2 wickedly curved horns, they're normally off-limits for cheetahs. These lightweight felines lack the power of the bigger cats. They hunt by chasing and tripping their prey. And kill their victims with a throttle hold to the neck. Smaller prey provide an easier kill. This family group has other ideas. A single mom with 3 growing boys to feed. They're after dinner for 4. Wildebeest operate a safety in numbers policy, with the center of the herd being safest. But this careless adolescent wanders onto the fringes and into the cheetah's sights. The bold brother takes up the challenge. But the wildebeest is too big and sure-footed for a trip attack. This bro needs backup. Four to 1 loads the odds in favor of the cats. For their size, cheetahs have a more powerful bite than lions or leopards. Teeth sink into the back of the neck. And the family divides forces. 2 target the rear legs, and 2 hang from the front. He's down. If the family holds firm, he's finished. But a bro backs off to avoid those horns, which changes the odds. Mom tries to take care of business. But exhausted, she loosens her throttle hold. They focus attack on the back legs. It's a tactical error. The freed up horns thrash, inches from tearing open the mom. The adolescent bucks his way to freedom. These overambitious cats are dog-tired. Cheetahs may give up the chase, but in the Indian forests, one predator pursues his prey with deadly determination. Throughout India, The Hanuman Langur is the king of the swingers. He likes company, sometimes living in troops of over 100. He carries 32 offensive weapons. But his wiry limbs provide his best form of defense when times get tough. He can leap 15 feet. But this Langur tries a leap too far. He's alone and grounded, carrying an arm injury. He needs time to recover, but time isn't on his side. He's come under the radar of an opportunistic killer, the yellow-throated Marten. Martens are cold-eyed killers. They have 38 sharp teeth, including 4 piercing canines. And they punch above their weight. In the Indian forests, they will happily take down deer 3 times their size. A fully fit Langur in the trees would be a hard target. But a wounded, grounded Langur is lunchtime waiting to happen. An injured Langur monkey is under attack from a yellow-throated Marten. He circles for a rear assault, but he's cautious because of the monkey's teeth. A long-range toppling tactic won't work. His opponent's about 4 times his weight. The Langur must keep his attacker front and center. He lunges, but the weakened arm can't hold on. The Marten fires rangefinders, piercing the limbs and back. He tastes Langur and identifies a weak spot beneath the injured arm. Puncturing an auxiliary artery beneath the armpit can cause severe blood loss. Crippling pain disables the monkey. But the Marten makes a critical error. He lets go to attack the other armpit. A 25-pound reverse body slam flattens the attacker. It puts Monkey off the menu and wins the feisty Langur vital recovery time. You know a predator's gonna give you trouble, but it can be just as dangerous to turn your back on a neighbor. On the banks of the Luangwa River in Zambia, Egyptian geese are in the business of securing their heritage. They gather in mixed flocks, but once a year, breeding pairs split off to claim a stretch of riverfront as their own. They're monogamous, and it's where they aim to set up home and raise a family, up to 12 goslings. Home hunting comes with heavy risks. The neighbors can be troubled. But a deadly threat also comes from another Egyptian goose. This gander, picks out the perfect waterside residence. But a rival goose has other ideas. He has the same need to breed, but he doesn't have a mating site. The land grabber's wide wings say, "I'm bigger than you." The homemaker's bobbing head seems to say, "Back off." It's gonna get physical. Beaks lock on to crush and tear. They target nerves and veins in the neck. Injury could leave the victim flightless. Easy meat for predators. The bout steps up to battery by wingbeats. They have a 4-foot wingspan and can deliver a heavy blow. The partner seems to shout encouragement from the sidelines. The homeowner nearly takes her out in friendly fire. His stronger bite sinks deep. The land grabber seeks safety in the sky. A final shot sees him off. The homemaker returns to his crib and hopes no other neighbors come to call.